Hello, my good traders. Welcome to another edition of Reality of the Week on Leading Forex YouTube channel. My name is Kofi, your admin for this channel. In today's video, we want to talk about Forex trading. How easy or difficult is it? We want to talk about the reality. How easy or difficult it is in trading the Forex market. And I want to give you an honest answer. Now, Forex trading, it is not an easy skill or an easy profession. Forex trading is not a profession that is so easy to make money overnight, as you have been told. Forex trading is a very difficult skill. Now, what makes it so difficult? I'll tell you. Now, those of you who have watched my videos, the tutorial playlist, I have about 4 playlists on this YouTube channel, but I'm talking about the tutorial playlist. I did a video talking about the banks or the big banks who control the Forex price or the Forex market. Now, these big banks, the JP Morgan, the Citibank, the Barclays Bank, and the rest, which I talked about in that video, they are banks purposely made or brought up for the sake of what? Currencies or Forex trading. And so they control the price of the market. Some people call them the market makers. They make the market. They decide what the market should be. They decide what price Euro USD or whatever currency should be. And so they are called the market makers or the big banks. They decide the price, the direction the market should go in terms of the currencies. So if one currency, for instance, the US dollar is maybe 10, they can decide that the US dollar should go to 11 or 12 or 13, or the US dollar should come down to 9, 8, 7. They make that decision, taking into consideration the economic activities of that country, which we call inflation. So because the price of these currencies are controlled by these banks, you and I, who are the retail traders, we do not know the direction these big banks will go. We don't know. I'm being real today. I want to tell you the reality of the market. We do not know what direction they will be going. If someone tells you that he knows what direction the banks will be going, that person may not be far from a liar. But one can also say that he knows what direction the market will be going. I'm sounding confusing, right? No. I'm not sounding confusing. I'll explain. I am saying that if someone should tell you that he knows what direction the market will be going, that person may not be far from being a liar. But we have people, or someone can also tell you that he knows what direction the market will be going, and that person may not also be far from being a truthful person. Why is it so? 1, the reason I am saying if someone says he knows the direction the market is going or the market will be going, that person may not be far from being a liar is because you do not know what direction the banks will go. You don't know. You don't know what decision these banks will take in order to decide to reduce the price from 10 to 9 or 8 or 7. The same way you do not know what factors these big banks will consider in order to move the price of the market to 11, 12, or 13. But there is one thing retail traders we do. What do? We speculate. And if you take your time to search or research or find out what the word speculation means, you will come to understand. It is not only with the retail traders, all the economists, all the institutions, the hedging companies, not only with the forex traders or the retail traders. I'm talking about the hedgers, those who hedge, those who speculate to make money, the big companies, including the banks. And when I'm talking about the banks, I am not talking about the big banks. I'm talking about other commercial banks who also speculate the forex market to make profit. We speculate. Speculation means that you think, you are forecasting into the future. You are actually looking at the direction the big banks are going, and then you want to follow them. You believe that since these big banks are going this direction, they may stay on that direction for a while. Take note and listen carefully. We, the retail traders, what we do is that we think that, okay, the big banks are going by. And if that is the case, we want to follow them. As they are going by, we want to follow them on the buy. But we do not know the time they may want to go sell. You do not know. But what we do is that we speculate. We look at key levels, areas that they stopped and came sell. And then we also look at areas that they stopped and went buy. And then we mark those areas as possible areas that we think when these big banks get to that price, they may come back down again. Let's assume, because this video is for a wider audience, I want to use an aeroplane, for example. Let's say you board an aeroplane or a flight. You take a flight that is going to London. And then the flight gets to London and then returns back to Ghana. I'm in Ghana, so let me use Ghana. I'm a proud Ghanaian. I know you're also proud citizen of your country. So let me use my country. So the flight gets to London and then returns back to Ghana. When you see that that flight has taken off again and it is heading towards London, you can anticipate that when that flight gets to London, it may return to Ghana, or it may come back to Ghana. But that doesn't mean that when the flight gets to London, it will certainly return to Ghana. Am I making sense here? So you are only speculating that that flight that has taken off from Ghana, heading towards London, when it gets to London, because the previous day or yesterday, the flight got to London and returned to Ghana. And so you are anticipating, you are forecasting that when the same flight gets to London, it may return to Ghana. And so the returning point is where we often call resistance or support. Because you do not know whether when the flight gets to London, it will certainly return. You are only anticipating, you are only forecasting. You are only speculating, guessing, and not just guessing. I don't like to use the word guessing because you are considering a lot of factors to be able to come to that conclusion. And so it is the flight. Okay, it is the flight or the pilot, if I'll put it. It is the flight or the pilot that will be able to tell where it will return to Ghana. Or it is the pilot that will be able to tell you that indeed, yesterday they took off to London and returned to Ghana. And as they are going back to London, they will return to Ghana. It is only the pilot or the flight that may be able to tell you. But you, the one standing behind, who is the speculator, you cannot be 100% sure. Am I making sense? And so that is why in forex trading, we always say that the trend is your friend. The trend being your friend means that the plane has taken off. The flight has taken off and it is heading towards London. So if you are a trader, you may want to join the flight as it is going to London. Am I making sense? You cannot say that, okay, the flight has come to Ghana. So by all means, that flight will go back to London. So you start preparing to join that flight to London. It is possible that the flight might change its direction. It might change its next trip. The flight, yes, has come back from Ghana, has come back from London to Ghana. But it is possible that this time round, the flight will go to Italy or might be heading to the US and no more London. So you cannot conclude and say that because the flight has come back to Ghana, it is going back to London. The same way you cannot say that because the flight has gotten back to London, it will definitely return to Ghana. It can get to London today and change its direction and choose to go to maybe the US as its next trip. It can choose to go to Italy. It can choose to go to Spain. It can choose to go to Nigeria. It can choose to go to South Africa. So we forex traders, we only speculate. So to speculate means that when the flight takes off and it is going to London, then you have to join. So when you join the flight from Ghana, when it takes off and you join, you don't have to say that you are going to wait until it gets to London before you alight. Because it is possible the flight might get problem or technical problem and might decide to do a forced landing in maybe Nigeria. It may decide to do a forced landing in South Africa, or it may decide to do transit, which you call it. The flight can choose to do transit. It may go from Ghana to Nigeria, do a stopover, and then continue from Nigeria to maybe South Africa. Do a stopover from South Africa, and then maybe go to the UK, which is London. You don't have an idea. So because you do not have an idea, you know that this flight is going to London, but you don't know whether it will do a stopover or transit or not. So when you board that flight, so the flight that you board is, for us to say, a trend. So when you join a trend, you must make sure that when you get something that is appreciable or something that is a bit okay, you exit. You get out with the little you have gotten as profit. So in trading, we speculate. And it is not only we those sitting by the laptops and the computers or the phones that speculate. Those in the banks, those working for the mutual funds, those working for other commercial companies that are into forex trading, they all speculate. Because the only people that do not speculate The only people who know where the direction is going, where they will be stopping, where they will be doing a U-turn, where they will be doing whatsoever, are the liquidity providers, which are called the big banks or the market makers. They are the only people who know what will happen next. You and I do not know. Am I making sense? We do not know. We only speculate. So if you are a speculator, that is why those who trade the forex market will tell you that if you are a speculator, then don't be greedy. Because you are not an insider working at the big banks that will be able to tell where the turning point will be. So when you get something small, get out. And when you see that the trade is going against you, get out. And that is why they will tell you, you need to put a stop loss. And that is why they have to tell you, you need to put a take profit, because you are not the big banks. You are not the market makers. You are not the liquidity providers, those who provide the price. You are not them. So you cannot be sure, 100% sure. That is why in forex trading, no one can be 100% sure of any trade. So if someone tells you that he is 100% sure of this trade, the person is not to be honest, or is not trying to be honest, if I'll put it. Any trade you take is a speculative one. You are only trying to join the big guys in the current direction that they are going. That is why if you are a forex trader, they will tell you that you must look for the trend. You must look for where the banks are going, the big banks, the market makers. You must look for where they are going. So you need to first of all find out where those big guys are going. Then you join them. But when you join them, don't be greedy to stay on that trend, thinking that it will continue forever. There is a turning point. There is a pullback point. And there is a continuation point. You have no idea. You are only speculating that, okay, the turning point will be in London, which is a support area. Or the turning point will be in Ghana, which is a resistance level. But it is not a sure bet that when that trade gets there, it will turn or it will return. You can only say, yes, the flight has gotten to London and it is returning to Ghana after you have seen that flight taking off from London on its way coming back to Ghana. Then you can then be sure and say that, okay, I said it, that when this flight gets to London, it will come back to Ghana. It has taken off again from London and it is heading towards Ghana. That is the only time you can say, yes, I said it, and it is true. But you cannot use that destination point, the support level or the resistance level, as a sure banker that when the trade gets there, it will return. I pray what I'm telling you will make sense. So forex trading is very difficult. And that is why no trader in this world, I repeat, no trader in this world has ever traded without making losses. Because as a speculator, you cannot be 100% sure all the time. There are trades, there are directions you will forecast. There are directions you will anticipate. And it may turn out not to be so. Am I making sense? So if you are there thinking that you want to get 100% clean trades, without a single loss, before you can say that you are a master trader, then you are deceiving yourself. I am not saying that it is not possible. It is possible. But if I will lie to you, no one can say he hasn't lost in the market. The companies you know, the banks you know, all the big institutions, when you go to Wall Street, if you go to the London market, the Australian market, the professional traders that are trading for companies, none of them can say they have never made losses. Because we are speculators. We are not the market makers. We are not the big banks. We are not JP Morgan. We are not Citibank. We are not the Barclays banks and the others. If you want to know the 8 banks that are the big banks who determine the price of the market, go back to that video I did. I talked about them. You know the 8 banks that I talked about, who are called the big banks. Even those big banks, sometimes they end up cheating us. They can manipulate price. The big banks. I don't know how many of you heard that was it 2020 or 2019. Barclays Bank and some other banks were sued. And they were made to pay some damages for manipulating the price of the Forex market. You can Google it. If I'm lying, just Google it. Banks who manipulated the Forex market and were made to pay a fine. Google it. You see them. Because they control the price, sometimes they can manipulate that price into their favor or to their favor. When they realize that a lot of people are getting the direction that they are going, sometimes they can manipulate and make some people lose. Because whenever you lose in the Forex market, when you lose a trade, you are losing the money to the big banks. When you make profit, you are making profit, you are taking the money of the big banks. Does this make sense? When you make profit, you are taking money from the big banks. When you lose your money, you are losing it to these banks. So they are always changing the direction of the price to make sure that you those following them, or you those having monies, those monies will depreciate. And then it will be in their favor, or you lose your money to them. That is the business. It is not a fraud thing. It is business. That is their business. That is how they make money. So whenever you lose a trade, you are losing it to these banks. These banks are the ones you are losing your money to. And whenever you make profit, you are making profit from. So always remember, whenever you make profit and you are happy, you should know that somebody is sad somewhere. The same way when you also make a loss, you should know that somebody is happy somewhere. Because when you place a trade, if you place a buy in the market, they have to look for the liquidity provider, the banks, who are going the opposite of you. And then they will match the two of you to transact. Just like barter trade. I am here saying that Euro USD is going buy. And you are also at the other end saying that Euro USD is going sell. So when that person enters a sell and I enter a buy, they will match the two of us to trade. I'm just using that as an example. They will match the two of us to trade. Because that person is saying Euro USD will go buy. Oh, sorry, sell. That person is saying Euro USD will go sell. And I am saying that Euro USD will go buy. So since we are in the opposite direction, then we become a pair to trade. So when Euro USD is going buy in my favor, it means that person is losing his money to me. And whenever the trade is going sell, then it means that person, I am losing my money to him. That is what is happening in the forex market. So whenever you place a buy, they have to look for someone who is placing a sell or who is going sell. Then they will match the two of you. So they have to look for liquidity providers, which is the banks, who are going sell. You want to go buy. So they have to look for the banks who are going sell. Then they will match the two of you. Then you begin to transact. When you lose to them. When you win, you win. That is the work the brokers do. The brokers are to match our trades. Those who are going sell, the brokers have to look for those who are going sell, and then they match it with those of us who are going buy on any currency. If we are also going sell, they have to look for those who are going buy. Then they will match us. That is what the brokers do. That is their work. So the brokers, what they do is that they only provide us with the feed. They give us the price. So we see the price on our MT4 or our MT5. And they take this price from the liquidity providers, from the big banks, those who control the price. That is where they get the feed from. And then they give us the feed. And then we look at the feed to take a decision. So when we take a decision, upon seeing the feed, when we take a decision, so when you open your MT4 or MT5 and you see the prices moving up and down, and you decide to take a decision, the broker is supposed to look at the decision that you have taken and look for someone who is doing the opposite. Then they match you. So the bottom line is that forex traders, we speculate. We are speculators. The only time you can say that you are true and you are sure that this is the direction the currency will be going is when indeed that currency has gone that direction. Does this make sense? The only time you can boast and say that I said it, I told you guys, I told you that Euro USD is going by and you saw it, that is when the trade has actually done that. But if it hasn't, you cannot be so sure, because you are not the one controlling the price. That is why when you enter a trade and the trade is going against you, no amount of prayer can change the direction. No amount of tongues, no amount of juju or whatsoever, incantation or chanting can change the direction until the market makers decide that they want to change. And that is why they say that you need to always manage your risk. Because when the trade is going against you, it is out of your control. If the trade is also going in your profit, it is out of your control. You cannot control how long the trade should go in your profit direction. You can only exit after you feel the profit you have made is okay. Sometimes you may close a trade in profit of $100, and then you see that that trade has gone even past $500. So it means that if you had stayed in the trade, you would have made $500. But you closed it when the trade got to $100. The reason is because you felt what you got was okay. But you didn't know where that buys or that profit will end. Am I making sense? So whoever tells you that forex trading is so easy, you can make profit overnight, the person is lying to you. But that also doesn't mean that you cannot make profit from the forex market. I have been trading the forex market since 2017. And I have been profitable. I have been speculating. And I have been profitable. It means you can also speculate and be profitable. There are a lot of banks in your country who are also speculating, just like you are speculating, and they are profitable. And this is not only in the forex market. Those of you think that forex, if that is the case, forex trading is a gambling thing, is a lie. And I want to prove that to you. Because we are speculating, we think that then it is just like gambling. Those of you who normally say that, I want to say that that is not true. If that is true, then the shop that you have opened, you are also gambling. Or whatever business you are doing, you are also gambling. Why am I saying that? If you open a provision shop right now, and you go and buy 1 kilogram of rice, that you want to sell it to the customers. And then the 1 kilogram of rice that you bought it at $10. And then you think that you want to sell it to a customer at $11 or $12. If you bring that 1 kilogram of rice to your shop, and you hear that that 1 kilogram of rice that you bought for $10 is now being sold at $5. No one would like to buy it at even $10. And then you end up selling that 1 kilogram of rice for $5. You have made losses. And that is why even in every business, it is made up of profit and loss. There is no business that has no loss. Every business has a loss attached to it. So should I say that, the provisions that you bought, the supermarket that you opened to sell to the public, you bought them at a very huge cost and came and sold them at a very cheap price because the price of the items fell when you brought the items to your shop? You have gambled? Is that what I should say? No. You didn't gamble. You only forecasted. You made projections. Okay? You forecasted. You made projections. You speculated that these things will increase in price for you to make more money. And it didn't turn out to be so. So that is a loss in business. Everything we do in this world, name something that is not made of losses. Name something. Everything in this world has a loss attached to it in terms of business. Every business you do has a loss attached to it. You hear banks declaring their yearly statement and tell you that they have made this amount of losses. Yes, the banks. Ask the banks. Those that you think they have the money, the banks, ask them. Let them declare their financial statement. You will see. They will tell you this is the loss they made. Go to those who take taxes for government. Go to their office and find out companies that are declaring losses for a financial year. Companies will tell you the whole of last year, they didn't make any profit, they made loss. So because of that, they have no tax to pay to government. Companies declare losses. The reason is because they are in business. And business is made up of profit and loss because we are all speculating. We are all trying to forecast into the future. People buy cars and they sell those cars. Let's say you have a garage of cars that you sell. You bought these cars at a very expensive price. And then in 2 years' time, you see that the price of those cars are falling. You have to sell off those cars at that current price. If you bought them $250,000, and the current price, maybe after 2 years, no one has bought the car, and after 2 years, the price of that car has fallen to $150,000. You have to sell it at that price. You can't say by force, you will have to sell it at $250,000. No one will buy because the price, that same car is being sold now $150,000. So you selling yours $250,000, nobody will buy. So you will be forced to sell yours at $150,000, which is a loss of $100,000. That is business. You forecasted that even that price may go higher. Maybe in a year time, that price, that car will increase in price. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. The same way you can forecast that this price that is sold at $250,000 in a year or two may be sold at $300,000 or $350,000. If it happens so, and you have a car in a year or two which you bought at $250,000 and you are going to now sell it at $350,000, you have made profit. So we all speculate. Every business, we speculate into the future. And it is the same with Forex trading. So Forex trading is just like any other business. So if you think that other businesses out there are difficult to do, but Forex trading is cheap, it's easy to do because it will make you rich overnight, you are being deceived. You are not being told the truth. I am not saying that you cannot make money overnight, but let's be real. Let's tell you the reality of it. And that is what I'm telling you here. Now, I would like to show you one of my accounts. Okay? I would like to show you one of my accounts. And then we'll look at that account together. And I'm going to show you the history of that account for only this year. The trades that I have taken on that account for only this year. For us to see whether I made profit or I made losses. Just one of my accounts. Not many, one. So let's go to that account. This is the account I want to show you. And when you go to the menu below, okay, let me try and do it this way. I have tried to push the chart to the upside. I click on the edge here, then I drag. When I drag, it will drag like that. You see it? Is that okay? So you drag, it will drag. When you drag up, it will close the chart and then you have this plain space. This is where your account balance and everything shows. Now, there is a down menu. And that down menu here, you see trade, exposure, history, news, mailbox, calendar, company, and the rest. I am taking you to so the company I'm trading with is DERIV. So the account I want to show you is a DERIV account. Okay? So I am logged into this account already. It's a live account. So when you click on all these things, it will give you the code base, the expert, and the rest. So I want to go to the history of this account. It's a live account. So this is the history of this account from January 2024 to currently where we are. Okay? Now, when you look at the top menu here, you see time. That is to give you the date and time that those trades were taken. You see symbol. The symbol gives you the currencies that I traded on. The ticket tells you the code of the trades. The type here tells you the type of trade I took, buy or sell. The volume tells you the lot size that I used. The price here tells you my entry prices. The stop loss and take profit is to tell you the take profit or stop loss that I set. If you look at this account, I never set a stop loss on it. If you look at the stop loss area, there's no single stop loss. On all the trades I took from January 2024 up to currently where we are, there is no stop loss on any of the trades. But there is TP. When you go to the TP column, you see take profit. You see take profit. The time that those trades were closed, you see them here. The first time here is the time the trades were taken. The second time here is the time those trades were closed. So that is the time the trades were closed. And then price is the price at which I closed those trades. And then profit here is the profit that I made from each trade. And then the percentage of the profit or loss is what you see here. The profit is whether it is loss or is profit, you see it. And when you see the black numbers here like this, it means the withdrawal that I made. This one is the withdrawal. So here I withdrew $117. Over here I withdrew $600. In that order, here I withdrew $375. So this has to do with the profit I made and then the profit in terms of percentage. If you look, the losses are also here. The ones in red tells you the losses I have made. Okay? So when you see the plus, the black one with no minus on it means the deposit that I made. The minus is the withdrawal that I have made. You get the difference? So you see the losses. There are places you see big losses. So you see that as a professional trader, I still made losses. These are all profits. You see a lot of profit, but look at losses. Losses are also here, as you can see. Profits all over. You see losses over here. Losses all over here. You see profits, you see losses, you see profits, you see profits, and you see losses in that order. So let me go quickly to show you what I want to show you at the end of the history, which is below here. At the end, if you look at the down here, it is in bold. You will see profit, credit, deposit, withdrawal, balance, and then you will see profit here, and then it ends there. This is where I want to show you. Look at deposit. So in all, on this account, between January this year to July, as I'm speaking to you, I have made a total deposit of $459.60 on this account. Look at it here, where I have highlighted. This is where I'm reading. You see a deposit of $459.60 deposit. And then I have made a withdrawal of $7,108.22 from this account. And they are telling you my total profit is here. When you look at the profit column here, they will tell you the total profit I got. My total profit is $2,708.29. Because if I deposited $4,459.60 and I made a total withdrawal of $7,108.22, then it means the profit I made on my deposit, the difference is $2,078.29. So between January 2024 to currently July, as we speak, I have made a profit of $2,078 on a deposit of $4,459. If you strike the percentage, if I have $4,459 and I have made a profit of $2,078, it means that I have made about 50% profit on the account. Because a 4,000 account giving you $2,000 profit within 6 months, it means you have made 50% profit of the account. Does this make sense? I'm sure you are getting the scenario. So, as a trader, this is the profit I have made on one account. Between January to June or July, as I speak to you now. This is the profit I have made. $4,459 deposit. I have made $2,078 profit, which is about 50% profit on my deposit. And you have seen the losses. You have seen the profits. So as a Forex trader, as a speculator, trading the Forex market is very difficult. But your ultimate goal is to end up in profit and not in losses. And so I can say that if someone wants to invest in me, assuming someone wants to do business with me, I can be able to prove this to the person that, look, if you give me $4,000 to trade, per this results you are seeing here, I can be able to give you a profit of what? 2,000, which is 50% in 6 months. Yeah, this is how you can convince someone to invest in you. If you want someone to give you money to trade, this is how you can prove to the person. You can tell the person using what you have done yourself to demonstrate that, look, if you give me $4,400, I can be able to give you $2,078 within a space of 6 months. So when the person looks at your profits, so 50% profit in 6 months, then the person can say that, okay, I would like to do business with you. Because the person has seen that despite the losses in your trades, you will still turn out to be a profitable trader. So the ultimate goal of us as traders is not to end up in losses, but is for us to turn out profitable at the end of the day. When you accumulate your profits and losses, you should end up, or you should turn out in profit. That is the aim or the goal every Forex trader must chase. Do you get it? So I can tell someone that, look, if you give me $10,000, I want you to invest $10,000 in me. And within 6 months, I can give you 50% profit of the $10,000. And then the person will say, what is your proof? What shows you can do that? Then I was okay, this is it. I have done it in 6 months and it is here. So look at it. Or the person will say, okay, it's good. So what will then be your share? The person can say, okay, if I make 50% in 6 months for you, give me maybe just 10% or 20% and take the rest of the 30% or the 40%. You get it? So if you want, those of you who are also looking for money, if you want people to have trust in you and invest in you and give you big money to trade, and then, or sign contract with you and give you big money to trade on their behalf, this is what you can do. Prove it yourself. Trade life with your own money and see where you can end up in 6 months or in a year. This is just one of my accounts. I'm not here to boast or to show you my accounts. I am not also here to tell you that I am making big money in Forex. This is my profit within 6 months. But there are people who are making it better than I have made. I'm not envying them, but I want to tell you that Forex trading, you can also do it. So if in another 6 months, I should make another 50%, then it means in a year, I can make 100% profit on my own investment. This means that you can tell somebody that if the person gives you whatever money, you can give the person 100% profit at the end of the year. And let me tell you this secret to end this video. I have spoken for almost 50 minutes. In the next 10 minutes, let me just tell you what these professional traders that trade for the institutions that our politicians and our big guys go to give their monies to, the Elon Musk and the Mark Zuckerberg, the places they go to put their money, including you, the banks that you go to give your money to as investment, as bonds, they give you a maximum of only 20% in the whole year. So if you go to deposit money in any bank, some will even give you 8% per annum. Some will give you 12% per annum. If you, as a trader, can turn your own money and make 50% profit at the end of the year, then it means that there's no need you going to put your money in any investment whatsoever. Then it means you are an investor on your own. That is what forex trading is about. Being an investor on your own. Turning your own money into a profit that would be better if you had gone to put in a bank, or if you had gone to give it to an institution to give you something on it. And the monies you even go to give to these companies, it is not 100% sure that they can give you that profit. Sometimes some of them, these bonds, you put your money into these bonds, and at the end of the year, at the end of the maturity, they tell you that we have made losses and we cannot give you the profit that we promised you. It happens. If you are in Ghana, you will understand better what I'm saying. Most of the people who have given their monies to the government as bonds, we had a domestic bond exchange program, and a lot of people received haircuts. Some gave their money out for 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, with the hope that at the end of the 10 years, 15 years, they will get this amount of profit as a percentage. It turned out that government says there's no money. We can't give you that profit because the government hasn't made any money. The government has run into losses. So you are going to receive a haircut. So this is an investment world. If that money could be managed by you yourself and get 50% at the end of the year, then it means you are seeing progress in your life. So forex trading is all about managing your own money. Not going to give it to any investment company, but you managing it yourself. And then at the end of the year, per annum, you should be able to turn out profitable than if you had gone to give it to an investment company. That is what forex trading is about. It's not about being rich overnight. It's not about I am in debt and I want to find out how I can quickly get money and get myself out of debt. Forex trading is not about my rent is about to expire, so I'm looking at what I can do quickly to turn my money to be able to pay for rent. Forex trading is not about I have to pay school fees next month, so I'm looking for an opportunity where I can put some small money and make it big to be able to go and pay my school fees. That is not forex trading. If people are promising you these juicy packages overnight, be careful. Forex trading, the reality is that it is a business. And this business is about managing your own money and turning out profitable than if you had gone to give the money to someone. It's just like you opening your own company or your own business. And then you put your own investment into the business, your own money into the business, so that you end up profitable than if you had gone to give the money to a bank or an investment company to manage for you. That is the reason why you open that business. The reason you open the business is for the business to give you profit better than if you had gone to give it to someone else. That is why you open businesses. Forex trading is a business, and it is about you managing your own investment. This is the reality of it. And if you were able to watch this video up to this point, I am sure you now understand the mindset and the concept of Forex trading. It is just like any other investments in this world. Whether the real estate, whether whatsoever, business, companies or whatsoever, it's just the same as Forex trading. It's about you managing your own investment, managing your own resources, managing your own money. That will earn you more profit better than if you had gone to give it to a different company to manage it for you. I'm done. Thank you for watching the reality of the week. I'll see you Sunday for us to look at the market review and see possible trades that we can take. So Sunday, tomorrow, I'll see you for us to look at that. Until then, take very good care of yourself, and I'll see you again.